The team leader for the economic analysis for our organization is actually my brother, Mike. Unfortunately, Mike is working in Long Island, New York right now, and he couldn't be with us tonight. So, I am going to voice his words and his analysis, but I want you to know that this is Mike and his group's efforts to analyze everything that's been put in front of us as far as an economic impact analysis. So, as a bit of background, Amazon's developer, Trammell Crow Buffalo, that's what TC Buffalo stands for, hired the MRB group to conduct an economic impact analysis. The MRB group used economic forecast models provided by an organization called EMSI instead of using actual data from Amazon centers that already exist in the US. Their most recent corrected estimate stated that the town would receive $9.582 million, an average of $639,000 a year, or 2.6% of the town's annual budget. The estimate for the school district was $25.457 million, which is an average of $1.7 million a year, or 2.6% of the annual school budget. I don't know about you, but 2.6% doesn't sound like a lot to me. Now, these estimates were based on basically $150 million assessed valuation for the property. We want to emphasize that that is still a very big unknown. Assessed values are based on what someone is willing to pay. Now, I don't know about you, but how many deep pockets are out there that can purchase a warehouse of this size for $150 million? As Pat educated me on earlier, if you build something for $10 million on the island, but no one will pay you $10 million for it, you're not going to be assessed at $10 million. You will be assessed at what people will purchase it for. So I want to make sure that everyone understands all these estimates are based on that assessed value. And that is not finalized, and we don't honestly know what that would be. It could be half that, it could be double that. We don't know. Now, MRB estimates that the average homeowner will save $5,451 over the entire 15-year span of the pilot as a result of new revenues from the project. This is an average of $363.40 per year. Think about that for a second. That's $1 a day. Are we willing to give up what we have here for $1 a day?
No!
I don't think so.
Right.
We'll work on that. Somebody shouted, you should put that on a bumper sticker. So fundamentally, we believe the economic impact analysis is flawed and that the net cost to Grand Island will far exceed any revenue projections that have been made by TC Buffalo. Next. Their analysis points to the creation of at least 1,000 jobs and a payroll of $32 million per year. So let me see, let me do the math there. Well, that would indicate an average income per employee of $32,000 per year. This is not a head of household income, and an income for which people would not be incentivized to displace or move themselves or their families. At this level of income, it is likely that the average employee would only get 30 minutes for lunch and be incentivized to utilize the cafeteria constructed on site to feed the workers. The employees would therefore not likely spend their 30 minutes having lunch in Grand Island restaurants or frequenting Grand Island businesses. Since most employees of this proposed warehouse would not move to take this job, It is far more likely that jobs will be filled by poaching employees from existing Western New York employers. As the new employer in town, Amazon would not likely settle for unemployed applicants, but would recruit people with existing jobs with current employers. As such, the income tax revenue estimated as a percentage of the total payroll is highly overstated. In actuality, the only income tax revenue difference would be the result of income differences from the future Amazon employer's salary at Amazon and their salary at their former employer. Being that Amazon jobs only average $32,000 a year, this difference is just as likely to be negative as it is positive. If Amazon recruits most of its employees from existing Western New York businesses, it will have a net negative impact on the other Western New York businesses, which is not comprehended in their economic impact analysis whatsoever. The bottom line on jobs is that the current economic impact analysis, as submitted, assumes that these are all new jobs and that the money is all additive. We believe the reality would suggest that these are not new jobs and the resultant income tax revenues are grossly overstated. Furthermore, the positive monetary impacts to the town of Grand Island due to the presence of these jobs is also overstated. Now, the original submission of the economic impact analysis, before they corrected it, showed an allocation of revenue to the affected fire and rescue district, which was totally inadequate. If revenues are now reduced further, this would only worsen the allocation to the fire and rescue district. Actual experience from existing Amazon facilities elsewhere have shown that Grand Island's local fire and rescue are not equipped or prepared to handle a major event at a warehouse of this size. In fact, in the most recent example in Redlands, California, the local emergency responders, once they confirmed that there weren't any people at risk, let the Amazon warehouse burn to the ground.
That's okay with us.
Now, Phillips Lytle claimed that the Erie County Highway Department and the Town of Grand Island Highway Department both approved the project as submitted to the Town Board of Grand Island. This was refuted by the town's own Highway Department superintendent at the last Grand Island Town Board meeting. The amount of truck traffic alone, remember that there would also be significant car traffic, generated by this proposed project would necessitate the reinforcement, repair, and resurfacing of many roads and bridges, especially the old and aging Grand Island bridges, both north and south bridges. Revenue projections submitted by TC Buffalo for this purpose are grossly understated. It would ultimately fall to the local and New York State taxpayers to fund the necessary reinforcements, repairs, and resurfacing. An economic roundtable report calculated that Amazon trucks last year created $642 million in uncompensated public costs for noise, road wear, accidents, and harmful emissions.
Yeah.
In the end, even if there is a net positive cash impact to the town of Grand Island for the completion of the warehouse, the cost to the environment, quality of life, jobs, traffic, and all of the other intangibles would greatly exceed the estimated financial benefit brought to Grand Island by Project Olive. From a cost-benefit point of view, there is little to no benefit to Grand Island for Project Olive, in our opinion.